This video is intended to help you learn more about direct quotes and how to blend your direct quotes. Direct quotes involve three basic things: introducing your information, blending, quoting, and citing it, and then explaining it. The first thing you have is your claim, and we discussed claims in another video. The particular claim that I'm working with in this example is about the internet. And the claim is this: the internet has been classified in a specific way in terms of how people depend on it. Now, this claim is going to need some evidence to back it up. So here, from an article in ISIT, we have this piece of information. The justification for the Communications Act was that the public interstate communication had become too important to society to be left unregulated, and that the government must have the authority to prevent carriers from restricting the flow of information for political, personal, or financial reasons. So that's the whole section that appears in the original article. Now, as a writer, I want to take this information and copy and paste it word for word into my essay, and it's going to follow the claim that I made earlier. So you could see under direct quote, or AKA copy and paste, that I begin with the quotation marks, and then the quote ends with the quotation marks again, and then highlighted in yellow, you see ISIT 1, and that refers to the author's last name and page number. And we'll be talking a little bit more about how to cite things a little bit later, but for now, I wanted you to see what it looks like. Okay, so here we go. We've got the blend and the quote and the cite all together. So you can see how I've structured it here. In fact, many have described the internet as a, quote, public utility, end quote, and this is based on the Communication Act of 1934, which was established because, quote, and then this is where I'm bringing in the passage that I had before. You can see where it ends, financial reasons, end quote. And then, of course, I have the citation parentheses, ISIT 1. So here we've got the first two pieces of it: blend, quote, and cite. Now, you're going to have to explain the evidence that you brought in. It's not enough to make a claim and then support it with evidence. The reader needs to know what it means, and it's not always clear from the direct quote. So this is what I've written. Here, the, quote, interstate communication, end quote, focused only on telephone lines and perhaps telegraphs because they were the modes of telecommunication in the 1930s. However, it is not difficult to see how the internet of 2017 means the same for people as the phone did in 1930. So this explanation really helps the reader understand the significance of the direct quote. And in fact, it might have not been clear to you until, the meaning may not have been clear to you until I actually wrote that explanation. All right, so now you see a full example paragraph, and I've color-coded it because I'm a visual learner. So in case you're a visual learner, this might actually make sense to you. So the black is the claim. The red is my introduce, blend, direct quote, and cite. And the blue is the explanation. So you should keep this in mind, that that's really what I'm looking for in your example paragraphs: your claim, your evidence, your explanation. Here I've given you some information around phrases that you could use for your direct quotes and blends. And then in this last page, you'll see the MLA style. Now, MLA stands for Modern Language Association, and basically they're the organization that determines how students in English classes write their papers. So the way you're writing them here at Bergen Community College is the same as how people might write them in Bridgeport or Alabama or Montclair or Harvard. So you don't have to learn different styles in your English classes. So in number 1, you can see what you do when you have a single author and page numbers, when you have 2 authors, when you have 3 authors. D refers to when you have more than 3 authors. You use a clever little phrase that says et al, and that's a Latin phrase that means and all. and you include the page number. Now, in the C example, the Balkan, Blau, and Ruiz, there were no pages, and that happens sometimes. I mean, you've all grown up with the internet, so you know when you don't have page numbers. And then, oh, inexplicably, I have two number ones. I'm not sure how that happened, but here we are. In the second number one, when you don't have an author, you'll use a shortened version of the title and page number. So the original one in A, the original title, is Internet Neutrality and Overview. And in the citation parentheses, you'll have Internet Neutrality in quotation marks. B is Internet Freedom, but the citation would also be Internet Freedom because it's a short title. C, you can see how Plans to Weaken Net Neutrality becomes Plans to Weaken, and that one had a page number, so that is why it's 17. Well, this concludes this video, and I hope it was informative.